Hey, football fans, Corky Franks here. Coach, we're live. I'm with Coach Hodge, and we usually say, tune in tonight, yada, 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 but today really is Friday morning. It's like 9 o'clock Friday morning. We're running late on the Coach's Show, but we're glad to have you.
Well, I'm ready for tonight.
And we're starting off hot, literally.
Yeah, it's summertime.
It's at least 90. You guys go on the road tonight to face East Gaston for Black Friday. We're going to get there in a second. Let's talk about the season opening win last week, 46-7. The second half was what most of us expected the first half would look like. So if you would take a second, I don't want to call them struggles, but let's talk about maybe the first half struggles, if you will, and the adjustments you guys made to come out and play different the second half.
Well, we scored early. Tyson had a big run early. And then the quarterback, right out there broke his hand. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. But quarterback, anytime you change a quarterback early in a game, you're going to have a little, it's just it's going to take you a minute to get yourself back together. And our guys settled down after halftime and just played, good old Red Raider football. But defense, at first, Lincoln just running it, up the middle and off tackle. And then they started getting that quarterback, which I said last week, that quarterback's dangerous when he pulls it down and runs it. And they just started letting him pretty much run like a sweep. And so we had to make an adjustment, at halftime for their, what they were doing offensively, and just settle our guys down and play. And I feel like once we settled down and played, we were all right.
We joked in the postgame show about a quarterback controversy brewing here at South Point. Cam Medlight's going to be back tonight. He's cleared medically to compete again. You had the Pfeiffer kid got hurt, second, third, fourth play of the game. You had David Howard come in, throws a 53-yard touchdown pass. He's dancing and celebrating on the sideline. You have Dalton Skipper come in. He gets a touchdown late in the game. How much enjoyment was it for you to see the young guys get a chance to play?
Well, I mean, you want to develop your team, and you want to see the young guys get to play. That's why I was real happy for Skipper, to get. That's his first varsity game. He's a freshman and at home, and, you never forget the first time you play varsity football in front of, gazillion people. It feels like a gazillion, but, he was real happy and did a good job there. And so he had a good week. He scored in the JV game. He scored in the varsity game. So that's good for him.
He's probably signing autographs all week.
Well, I asked him last night. He come up from the JV game last night, and said, "What was you doing down there signing autographs? Come on." But he's a good kid and a young kid. But Howard stepped in there, and it's a little rocky there for a second. But he stepped up, and when it was his time to perform, he did what we asked him to do, and we settled down and ran our offense and got the W. So that's, it's just great to, if you have that adversity, to see your team bounce back and play well.
And a couple other guys who did their job was Ryan Harris. He had 13 tackles. Matthew Hastings had 7 tackles. Take a second to talk about those guys and the defense as a whole.
Well, we were warming up before the game, and we ran about 3 plays, and I told Coach Andrews, I said, well, they're ready. Ain't no doubt about it, they're ready. And they were. They were geared up, ready to go. Them boys, seniors, they've been linebackers for 3 years now. They're sophomores, and they got big old linemen coming at them. Well, now they done grown up.
Yeah.
And so they're a lot of, they're mature, and it's a lot of fun to watch them play. And Ryan was just all over the place. And but them defensive linemen had a good game too. If you make them run outside the tackles, that means somebody inside the tackles is doing their job. And Zyreek and Shane Wilson and Hunter Jackson and all the guys that play inside for us, did a good job, and that allows you linebackers to scrape and make plays outside.
I was fortunate to get to watch a little film with you this week, the East Gaston, North Gaston game. East Gaston won 52-0, Coach, but they didn't beat a bunch of bums. I mean, they beat a big, athletic North Gaston team, and one of the first things you pointed out, and after you showed me it was easy to see, was how well-disciplined East Gaston was on both sides of the football. What are you guys going to have to do tonight to find success?
Well, they are good at what they do, and they take care of the ball. They didn't fumble a lot, and they don't run a whole bunch of plays. I mean, they're not going to trick you. They're going to line up and do what they do. And and I did think North Gaston looked good. I mean, I'm looking out there on the field, and I know East Gaston scored 52 points, but man, those guys from East North Gaston, they look athletic and can run, and big kids, tall kids, and so they beat some good athletes. And if you're gonna beat good athletes, you're gonna have to be disciplined, and they were. They were East Gaston was disciplined in the game, and really poured it on in the second half there. It was a pretty close game in the first half. At least early in the first quarter and all, and then East Gaston, really just that discipline and just kept doing what they do. And we're gonna have to, we're playing a good football team, and we're gonna have to play and play well and play, Red Raider football, discipline. Get 4 yards every time you touch it. Don't give up big plays. Blocking and tackling and taking care of the football. It's never changed. The game, people talk about, well, the air raid and the spread, all this other stuff. Football ain't changed. It's blocking and tackling. And if you block and tackle well, you're going to win the game. If they block and tackle better than you do, you're going to lose the game. And that's, so tonight, that's what it's going to come down to. Fundamentals, who blocks, who tackles.
Well, first period's wrapping up. Your guys are going back to class. I'm going to let you get out of here. Make sure you tune in tonight, 1450 AM, 101.1 FM, or you can tune into WGNCradio.com. Click the Listen Live link. Game time 7:30, going on the air at 7 o'clock. Big game tonight, Coach. Black Friday, a lot of tradition, a lot of football. Hope to see everybody at East Gaston. Coach, thank you for joining us. Real quick, next week we're going to have some players of the game where we're giving away this exclusive player of the game, South Point football tank top. Coach, you going to model that thing for us?
I'm not modeling.
You're not going
No.
You're not going to model it? Well, just hold it up maybe.
We'll see y'all next week. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red.